is I'm going to go to fighter select. I'm going to show you the strings that are used by characters who are online using that information that I have already given us with Sub-Zero. Which strings you can punish. I mean, the information is the same. If your character has an 8-frame standing 1 and a down 1, which is 6 frames, or however it is you want to do it, then this information still relates. But basically, what I want to show you is the more commonly used strings online with the more commonly used characters and the special moves as well, I guess, and just show you that they are, what you can and can't punish when you should and shouldn't be pressing buttons. So obviously, the most popular character in this game is Scorpion. So we'll use the one that I usually fight against is I can't remember whatever the second variation is that has the chain. So I've set that up here, and I'm going to choose. I'll choose Sub-Zero. Yeah, it doesn't matter what stage, because a lot of these characters, especially the main characters like Scorpion and the Sub-Zero, they have a lot of moves that are considered to be for new players. Sorry. So a lot of their moves are quite straightforward to do, and they're quite beneficial for the player, basically, because I think it's just their way of selling the game is that they know Scorpion is a main character, they know Sub-Zero is a main character, so they want to make them good. So if we put the frame data on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Sub-Zero on block. So you can set that up, so your AI options, if you go to block mode, all, accept, make sure you press X, because if you just press back out it doesn't save. When I do a move, actually let me show you the... Yeah, okay. So, as you can see, before, if you just whiff a button, when you have this up, you won't see the block advantage in the bottom left, because, your opponent's not blocking. But if you sit up here, you can see, if I hit him with a standing 1, I'm -2, so he can't punish me. That's just a button you throw out, you just want to check it. So, what I'm going to do first is go through the normal buttons, then I'm going to go through the strings, and then I'm going to go through the special moves. So, there are certain strings that each character has that a move can be special cancelled, which means that if you were to do the string, you can do a special move during it in order to make sure that you can keep it safe, potentially, or mix the opponent up. So keep that in mind. If he presses 1-1 and it's -6, I can hit him with a down 1, but that's only if he just sticks with the down 1. He might finish the string off, or he might special cancel. So that's why I'm just going to keep it to the actual strings themselves, and then when you're playing the opponent, you can throw in your punishes where you feel is appropriate from your playing. A string, yeah, I'll show you now. So, you have your normal basic attacks, which is just one button and a command. So square, back square, down square. So these are just called normal moves. These are just normals because they're just normal attacks. So if we go through some of these, I can put these. If you can see, it's 2 on PlayStation. Sorry, strong on PlayStation, which is 2. But you can tag the moves up to 10. So when you go into the tutorial mode, you can actually see the command of the move, and as I'm talking to you, you can see which move I'm talking about to make it easier to understand. So, square is -2. You can't punish that. Back, 1. back one is actually minus 14. So if Scorpion does minus 14, if Scorpion does back one, and it actually moves him quite close as well, even though it's a far-reaching move. I mean, like I said, you can special cancel all of these, but because it's quite a far-reaching form, minus 14 means that if I was to do my back 3, which is the low kick, even though it's 13 frames, which is quite slow, if he was just to leave it at that, I can punish him. So that's minus 14. That's minus 3, you can't punish that. 2 is plus 3. So that actually, blocking that actually puts him in a favourite. So if the block advantage is a plus number, which is quite rare, that means that they're at frame advantage. So if, even though that's 9 frames startup, because he's got a block advantage of 3, if I press a button after that, even my quickest button, he can still hit me if he was to follow it up with maybe a 1, which is quite fast, because he's got the advantage on block. So it's plus 3, so you can't press a button after. If he was just to throw out this, you have to be careful, because that's called a frame trap, which means a move or a normal that can be placed after another move, which traps the opponent into thinking that he can press a button when he can't. So be careful. If they do a standing 2, it's a block advantage of 3, so the best thing to do would be to block it, and just to see what they do after that. Because if it... So yeah, standing 2. Rising cut is a 2-hit, it's a 2-hit string actually, so you have to hold block, and the second hit is an overhead, so you have to block it high. If you were to duck, or you're blocking the first hit duck, make sure you stand to block the second hit, because it is an overhead, but it is minus 10 and it leaves him really close to you, so that could definitely be punished with a 2-1 from Sub-Zero, because he's right in your face. And that is not, the first part is special cancelable. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, the first part is special cancelable, but if they do both hits of the string, which Scorpions like to do at the start of the round actually, then you can punish it with any move faster than 10 frames. So for me, that would be a 2-1 into a full combo if you're a Sub-Zero player. This isn't a string, even though it's 2 hits, because it's still, if you look, the command, it's rising cut, which is back 2, it's just a normal, it's just a normal. I'm not putting multiple commands in, I'm just pressing back 2 and he's doing 2 hits. So you can punish that with any move less than 10 frames. So down triangle, that's your uppercut, minus 8. So I could potentially punish it with a jab, but if you can see, well, it's a high, so you can duck it. So, okay, that's another thing about Mortal Kombat. Ducking and blocking, and just ducking, has 2 different properties. So if we see here, if I make Sub-Zero duck block, no, I'll just record it. Didn't save. So if I make Sub-Zero duck block, oh, because he's on block all. So if you see, 1 and 2 are both highs. He's not blocking right now, he's in neutral, that's a block. So if he was in his guard animate, hold on, let's record him blocking. To show my point. Oops, that's not block, that's block. Let's do that again. So I press the wrong button. Now you know why I get hit all the time. Sorry, AI options. Record. So I'm duck blocking. So I'm not just standing, I'm not just holding down, I'm holding down and block. Okay? Stopping recording. Even though it's a high attack, which means you can duck it, and requires, you know, if you duck, it goes over it. Because you're blocking, it changes your hitbox, which means that high attacks hit you. So one of the things you need to pay attention to in Mortal Kombat is if you know a move is high, don't block, because you won't be able to punish it. Even though this is a high attack and it's -8, and there's a 10 frame startup, because I'm blocking it, I can't punish it, because it knocks you so far away. So I could, theoretically, if it kept me the same, if it kept me close, I could punish it with a 1-2. However, because I'm ducking it and blocking it, duck blocking it, it's pushing me too far away. So what you want to do is, just turn it back to custom. See, now he's not blocking, now he's just down and in the neutral position. It's just going to go straight over his head. So if you can read the opponent's going to do a high move like an uppercut or a high string, which is like I'm pressing 1 or 2, you can duck it and you can punish them accordingly. So with an uppercut of your own, or with a fast string. So that's 9 frames. So if you were to duck that high, you can then stand with Sub-Zero and hit them with a 1, because that's a whiff punish. A whiff punish is when you punish a move on their recovery animations. So yeah, tip in Mortal Kombat is if you know the move is high, duck, don't duck block. Okay, so go back to start going through the moves again. So uppercut is -10, is -8, sorry, but as we said, don't block that standing. Try and duck it if you can, if you've got the read. But you can't punish it if you do block it high, because it knocks you so far away. So his 3 button is this kick, which is also high, so you can duck it. However, if you do block it, it's 0 on block, which means that neither of you are at advantage, but it's not unsafe. So if he was to do this and then block, you can't punish it, because it's not, you don't have any move fast enough to get him, basically, after he's finished the attack. If it was -6, you could do down 1, but you can't. So that's his 3. His back 3 is an overhead, which is -5, which means it's also safe, because you can't block it. Sorry, you can't punish it straight after he's done it, but it is an overhead, so you have to block this high. You cannot block this move low. If a move has an overhead, it comes up with overhead, any move that's overhead, you have to block high. Forward 3 is one of his best moves, actually, because it's an advancing normal that is special cancelable. It's -2. You can't block it. You can't punish it. Sorry. And then side strike, -4. You can't punch it. We'll just go through the last few bits. Maybe I shouldn't go through all of the moves. I mean, that was just to prove a point with uppercuts and stuff, but I'll just go through the faster normals. So forward 3 is one that's always used, because it's a good poking tool from a distance and leads into a crushing blow, which I'll show you afterwards. But I might as well just go through the last little bits now, just to, because I've started doing that. So step kick, that's also a high, -3. You can't punish it, but you can duck it and punish. Forward 3 is a low kick, but you can punish that. If you block, you can punish with a down 1, a Sub-Zero, because it's -6. So if Scorpions do like to do this, especially from around here, because it leads into a string. So if and it brings them towards you. Because you see, he steps forward after he does it. So even if he's really far away when he inputs it, he will end up close to you. So you can hit him with your down 1 to punish. And then quick kick is -4. Usually you'll find that their fast hitting buttons are their fast hitting standing buttons are high, but they're usually not punishable. And their low standing buttons are just normals like that. Normals. They're just normals that don't lead to anything, that are special cancelable, are also safe because they're just used as checks really. But then ones that aren't your basic normals, like this standing towards 4, because it's a move specific to Scorpion, it's -7, so you can down 1 it if you're Sub-Zero. So we've learned overhead. Let's go through it now. Just his moves, his key ones that he tends to use more often in neutral to lead to combos. So you've got Gut Slice, Rising Cut, and Shin Strike. These are his 3 main ones. So -14. This is just if they do these moves though, not if they special cancel. -14, -10, -7. So as Sub-Zero you can punish this with your back 3, which is the shin kick. This you can punish with your 2-1, because even though it's a different animation to your 1-2, he's right next to you, so you can lead into a more damaging combo. And Shin Strike is -7, so you can check it with your down 1. Okay. So now, as I received the question before, what is a string? A string, as you can see, it's not just one input now. Let's clear these. Okay, so you hold triangle to get rid of all the stars. These are strings, are moves, are normals that are chained together basically. So how you do them in Mortal Kombat is that you just press them quickly, just marking them, you press them quickly and then it inputs the string. So 1-1, if he was to stop blocking, would be a combo. Block type off. You see, 2 hits. So strings are normals that are put together in a string that usually lead to a combo. So that's 1-1, 1-1. It's 1-1-2. And the way you do strings in Mortal Kombat is a little bit different to normal fighting games in that you have to input the string quickly. If you want the whole string to come out, you have to input the whole thing quickly. You can't just do square, square, triangle, because if you can see, I'm pressing square, square, and it's not coming out. For it to come out, you have to commit to it basically, which is where you start learning about stuff like hit confirming, which means that you would only press the if you know it's going to hit basically, because you've confirmed the hit. So that's why you have to be careful when you have strings that have unsafe enders, because you can be punished. So the really high level players, not me, because I always do unsafe moves on block, as you'll see later on. The really good players will only do strings that leave them at advantage, which either means that they're plus on block or 0, which means they can't be punished, or anything less than -6 basically. So we'll go through Scorpion's ones now. Put him back on block. So all. So square, square is a string. -6, which means that if he leaves it at square, square, you can check it with your down 1. And even if he finishes the string off with 1-1-2, you can also punish that with your down 1, because it's your down 1 6 frame. I know I keep repeating myself, but you know, it's just to input it into my head as well. So you can punish with down 1, because down 1 is 6 frames and he is -6 on block. So if he commits to that string, you down 1 him, you check him to stop him from doing something else afterwards straight away, and that is a punish. And then you can lead into your own pressure. So this is the Gut Slicer move, which by itself was -14. but he might not.
My man!
Oh, that always scares me. So it's back 1, 4. If you have any questions, by the way, in chat, thank you, RC Maverick, for following. If you have any, my man, if you have any questions in chat, feel free to answer. So you have to block the second hit low. Lots of Scorpions like to do this because you're blocking high. Thank you, Sadie Blaze 66, for the follow. Yeah, back 1 into 0. Super Saiyan God, thank you for the follow. Back 1, 4. Scorpions like to do this because if you're stand blocking, you can stand block the mid, but you can't stand block the low. So if they hit you with the Gut Slicer, the only follow-up they have is going to be low. So if they end the string there, they are -17, which is really, really minor. So even if you've got a much slower move than either of the 3 moves that I was talking about, the standing one, the down one, or the back 3, anything, sorry, that's the wrong move, anything less than 17 frames start up, you can punish that with. But they don't usually leave it like that. Scorpions like to do, they'll either confirm that into the teleport, which is also minus, I'll go into that later, or they like to finish the string. And this is all low. So once a good tip for dealing with Scorpions too is to block low unless they do this move, or you think they're going to do the overhead. Because a lot of his strings are deceptive in the sense that they start off high, but then they lead to low attacks, which means that you can get hit low, and then if you don't block that, then he's going to go into a full combo and he's going to do a lot of damage. But even if he does finish that string, -15, so this is back 1, 4, 1. Yeah, I just went over that, yeah. That was one of the things I was talking about. So if you uppercut, as I was saying before, yeah, if you uppercut and you duck low, you don't block low, it will go straight over your head. Now that's cool. Just keep asking questions because I might have missed something, or I might not have gone through it. So this is super punishable, -15 frames. You can punish that with pretty much anything unless you've got like a really, really slow normal. So yeah, Sub-Zero 2-1 into a combo. You can even do forward 3 the overhead. I mean, I wouldn't, unless it's a crushing blow, unless you're in a situation where you want to get them with a crushing blow, but that's a whole different thing. Right now we're just talking about punishes. So you could definitely punish back 1, 4, 1. Then other finish is back 1, 4, 3, which is -5. So usually they go for the low because they think you're not paying attention, and they want to try and check you with the low. But if they do finish with the kick, because it's a mid, you can't duck it, unfortunately, and it is safe. So if they finish with the kick, be careful. Don't do a normal afterwards that is too slow, because he will be able to punish you. So back 1, 4, 1, punishable. Back 1, 4, 3, not punishable. Okay, 2, 1, +2, so that actually puts him at advantage. This move is the Noob Destroyer, because I got hit with this plenty of times. So this is 2, 1, 2. This is what this looks like. So 2, 1 is actually advantage. Leaves him at advantage on block. So you can't press a button afterwards, even though there's a big gap in between. What looks like, animation-wise, a big gap between the 2, 1 and the last 2. That's a mid, so you can't duck it. You have to duck block it, or stand block it. It leaves him +7 on block. So this is what I was talking about before. This is a frame trap. So he hits you with that, with the Superman punch, and you think, oh, he's miles away. Especially if you're in the corner. Let's put me in the corner. Oh, he's miles away. I can punish that. Any button that you press that isn't... No, anything. If you press any buttons, nothing that you have... I think maybe down 1, we'll check it. But any other button, he is going to punish you. Because he's +7. No, there's nothing you can do about it, basically. You just have to block it. Because there's no button that you can press that's... No, you can't. You can't duck it because it's a mid. So you have to block it, either a low or high. This is a really dirty frame trap. It's not special cancelable, so he can't do a special move after it, but it puts him super plus on block. So you just have to be careful not to press a button, especially not to press a button. Just let him do whatever he's going to do next. But if you think he's going to do it again, the first hit is high. So if you think, oh, he's going to press 1 again, after he's done that, you can duck and then punish him with your own 1 or with an uppercut or with something else. You know, any low move. But you have to wait for him to recover before you can press a button after that. So be very, very careful. Moves that are super plus on block like this, just respect them, because there's nothing you can do about it in this instance before you get your turn. So Mortal Kombat, like Tekken and mostly other, it's more similar to a 3D fighting game in that you have turns. So Scorpion's used his turn to do this. So he can steal with a frame trap. He can steal another turn essentially if you're not ready, because you're thinking it's okay to press a button after the block when it isn't. So you have to basically respect any plus moves like this afterwards, because otherwise he's just going to take that turn away from you. And if you press a button, he might not even need to do that again. He can just do 2-1 into a combo, and then, you know, Scorpion's combos do a lot of damage. And also, if I know that's just a crushing blow from a combo. So he's also got 2-1, which is -3. I think this is a grab. Hold on, if I'm even doing it right. Don't know what. Wrath? Don't know why that's not coming out. But it's -3 on block. What is this move? Oh, there you go. I don't know what that does. Maybe it's a grab. Let's switch off. I've never actually seen a Scorpion use this before, so let's just put that on off. Oops. Sorry guys, I just want to see what it does. Oh, come on. What is it? Why is it so hard to do? You can see me pressing the commands. Oh, I did it and I restarted it. Ah, okay, so that's a... I have seen Scorpions do that before. It's a combo ender. But if they do it and you block it, it's -3, so you can't punish it. Yeah, Scorpions usually use... They don't do that in neutral, which is... Neutral is basically when you and your opponent are both moving around, not really, you know, not pressing any buttons. This is called neutral. So we're in neutral right now, when it's no one's turn and you're trying to get the advantage. So you won't see Scorpions do that move in neutral. Usually they use it as a combo ender because it knocks you down, and then they can try and do something afterwards to mix you up. Yeah. Forward 3. This is one that people do quite often because it's mid, overhead, low. So it's very tricky. I get hit by this all day. So it's actually a 3-hitting, 2-command string. But it's -25 on block. So that is... But it does put him a little bit far away. So I would punish that with a back 3. The step forward shin kick. Please. That was really bad. What did Scorpion say when Sub-Zero broke up with Frost? Get over her. If I had any more hair to fall out, that would definitely have been the last straw. So yeah, with this string, forward 3, 2, you have to block it low. If you're blocking low, you have to stand block for the second bit and then block low again for the last bit. So it's a very tricky thing to block. I always get hit by it because it's quite fast as well in terms of the animation. But it leaves him super minus on block. Even though, as you can see, the distance is quite far, like I said. If you play Sub-Zero, back 3 will definitely punish that because it steps forwards and then you can get a full combo into a punish and then a mix-up. However, this is the move that's the bane. Forward 3, 4. The reason why this move is really good is because, as you can see, it's actually -7. So if you're in range, you can punish that with a down 1. However, look how far away he boots you. I mean, he literally kicks you. You've blocked it, and he's kicked you a quarter of the length of the screen, which is, you know, very good. And if he hits you with this when you're pressing a button, so if you try and press a button after it interrupts his forward 3, you are going to get crushing blowed for a ridiculous amount of damage into a combo. So let me show you, just so you can see the pain. Record. Okay. You see? Crushing blow. And then I'm bad, so I don't play Scorpion. Oh wait, let me show you actually. So this is a combo Scorpions like to do online. 2 crushing blows. Oh, did that not show the whole damage? Hold on. Look how much damage that did with 1 combo. Because it had 2 crushing blows. Can you see at the top there? So he can actually combo his crushing blows, and that wasn't a big combo either. That was a very basic combo. That's just with 2 crushing blows, and he just did 300 damage. No 1 bar of meter, but they can. Good Scorpion players can easily get up to 400, even 500 damage with a combo like that. That's why he's a very good character. Oops, not record. I just want to bring him back to normal. What am I doing? Record. AI options. Custom. Okay. So be very careful with the forward 3, 4. Do not push a button after the forward 3. No matter how much you want to, it's -2. And if he hits you with that crushing blow, you know, that's half your life bar gone easily. So, forward 3, 2. -25. But you have to block overhead then low. And forward 3, 4. Is technically unsafe, but do not press a button afterwards because he pushes you so far away. Realistically, your down 1 is not going to reach that far away. So he's going to do that to you. Scorpions often tend to do this in a row. So if you can read it, just try and jump, because you can probably jump over it. But yeah, don't press a button because he will ruin your day. And his last 2 are Inner Demon, which is a low into an overhead, so you have to block. So that's the shin kick, which we've said is -7. So if you block that, you can actually check it with a down 1, but if you don't check it, you have to block high for the overhead, which is -10. So again, we can punish with, because it leaves it right next to you, you can punish that with a 2-1 as Sub-Zero into a combo. But he could finish it off with this kick, which is -8, which again you can punish with +1, but I think it pushes you away. No, it leaves you right next to him. So yeah, either of these 2, if you block that, I mean, you have to block the low first, but remember with Scorpion it's better to block low, then try and gauge the overheads. So we're learning the strings to, you know, so that we know when we're playing against people when to stand and when to duck. So that's overhead. You have to block that high. So if he leaves it there, that's -10, you can definitely punish that. And if he finishes the string with the kick, that's -8, you can definitely punish that. No, you can't. You can't ban him, because that joke was actually quite funny. You can punish it with a 2-1. So yeah, that's Scorpion. Let's quickly do his moves, actually, because these are his main 2 moves. It doesn't matter which spec he uses, his 2 main moves are the spear and the helport. So, the spear, if he does it to you from this close, he's -33. And let's clear away these tags. Spear is -33. So if he does that from this far away, you can punish the hit. You can even punish him with a special move that's faster than that. So usually you'll find Scorpions do it from about here. So if you've got a fast special move that you think can reach and you can punish it, then you can do that. But they'll try and do it from max range, because they get a crushing blow with that as well if they get you from max range with it. As you can see as well, the block advantage changes depending on the distance. So even though it's -20 as well, you can probably punish that as Scorpion with Scorpion, but as Sub-Zero, there's nothing that you can do to punish that from this far away. You can obviously from this far away, but they'd be really silly to do that to you from this close. The other move is this, the teleport. They like to jump back and do it, or they do an unsafe string into it. However, it's -20 on block, so you can get a massive punish with that. You have to block it high, you can't duck it, because it is a mid. And they like to amplify it, because then that tricks you, because you think, oh, he's only done the 1 hit, but then they amplify it, which adds another hit, which launches you. So if you think they're going to teleport, or they've finished a string with the unsafe teleport, just keep holding block basically until, well, if they've got no meter, then obviously they're just going to do the normal teleport. But if they've got meter, I found 9 times out of 10, they tend to do this one because they think it's going to trick you and launch you, but that's -14. So Sub-Zero, you can punish that with pretty much all of your normals. So 2-1 into full combo mix up. Okay, so that's Scorpion. Punishing Scorpion as Sub-Zero. I mean, punishing Scorpion as anybody really, but I'm doing it more specifically as Sub-Zero because I play Sub-Zero, so I can just tell you exactly what you can punish as him. So, yeah, that's Scorpion. He's the most popular character that I come up against usually because he's the main character really. He's like the Ryu or the Kazuya or Jin, I guess, actually. So yeah, that's how you punish him. That's how you punish Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Those are his moves. That's the frame data. This one. Just don't let him get away with it, basically. You'll find that Scorpions like to trick you or try and disrespect you, basically, with these moves that they, that you think that they can keep doing to you because you don't know how to block them. The only ones really you need to be really terrified of, to respect a lot, is 4-3-4 and 2-1-2. So if you remember that with any character, that should improve your matchup knowledge by a lot. So yeah, that's Scorpion. He's the first one I wanted to cover because he's the most popular character.